I was born Sir Daryl Andrew Ferris. My mom, she wanted my name to be Daryl, but my dad wanted my grandmother to have some kind of say in my name because she didn't have any say in my other brothers. She added Sir. She's from Shreveport, Louisiana, old country black lady. You know, it holds a lot of meaning. It's near and dear to her that I be called Sir. Inglewood, California, born and raised. Inglewood is just like any other city. It has its goods, it has its bads. As far as my life, I had a good life in Inglewood. I grew up in a house with both my parents. I stayed out of trouble. I wasn't in the gangs, but you know, that doesn't mean I didn't see a lot going on around me with kids that went to school with me, with just people that lived in the neighborhood. My older brother was from Families, which is the local Inglewood gang. My pops, even back in the day, was affiliated with, you know, gangsters and pimps and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, it's just me and my brothers chilling. We didn't really get into trouble. We played video games and shit. My uncle is a bass player. His name's Andrew Boucher. He's played for almost everybody in the gospel industry. He's played for Prince. He was Shaka Khan's MD for 10 years. My mom sang background in the 80s and the early 90s for Shaka Khan, Michael Jackson. My mother's been the minister of music at our church for 27 years. So just grew up in the church, grew up in choir. We grew up in music. I put a project out called 7 Sundays. Either Dave or J-Rock heard it, and they called the label that I had released the music through and, you know, invited me down to the studio. And first day I got down there, we cut the hook. Probably a week later, he dropped the song and we shot the video, so. The first time I actually got a chance to work with them was through J-Rock. We did the song The Ways on his last project, 90059. And then after that, you know, I just kind of stuck around and, you know, I met Dave. You know, it was a slow process, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. It worked out perfectly. I guess that was top. Whatever top says goes. I didn't ask too many questions. I didn't really care about why it was. I was just happy to be a part of the team. It's kind of weird not having the secret anymore. Having kept it for so long and being quiet about it and getting used to like just being low key. Now everybody knows and it's just something I gotta get used to. I'm really into this music stuff. Like I really, really love the studio and the artistry and stuff like that. And he's at the top of his game and has been for the past 5-6 years. But like his vibe, he's a normal cat. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't think anything of it. He's not walking around like, oh man, I'm Kendrick Lamar. He's just working and doing his things and he makes the process easy and I'm just a fly on the wall. I'm just trying to learn as much as possible. I had a chance to work with Stevie Wonder in the studio, wrote a song with him and Melanie Fiona, that was crazy. I ran into him a couple of times. When I was like 23, my brother called me and told me that we were going to Stevie Wonder's birthday party. And I got a chance to sing Happy Birthday for his family. We were supposed to sing it for Stevie, but he was asleep by the time we got there. So that was like a time where I was like, man, I really want to meet Stevie Wonder. And like 6 months later, I'm in the room rehearsing with someone else and he just walks in and sits in the rehearsal. Basically, like everybody stopped and sat down and somebody set a keyboard in front of him. He just played and sang for like 45 minutes. And we're just sitting there like, I was like, oh man, I want to work with Stevie Wonder. 6 months later, I'm at Andre Harris's house with Melanie Fiona and she's saying, Stevie's texting me. Should I let him come through? Of course, Stevie Wonder, man. Fucking crazy, right? That song isn't really about LA. The song is about the people in LA. LA hasn't really changed much, but one thing that, you know, everybody that's from LA knows is most of the people that you run into are not from LA. So it's just talking about, you know, the scene and the music industry and how girls are towards artists and towards regular cats. LA is it's a thirst trap, to say the least. Man, I I can't even lie, at a certain point, I was not inspired. That's what led me to work at Guitar Center. With the music industry, you can have a song on the radio and not see anything from it for a year or two if, you know, the business isn't right. When I started working at Guitar Center, I was done. Not like done with music, but just done with the music industry at the time. I was tired of dealing with people, and I felt like I just needed to reset myself. And that's exactly what I did. You know, it took me about, you know, a year before I had, you know, really, you know, piled up on records and got myself back in the swing of going to sessions and stuff like that. I hold no animosity towards Guitar Center. You know, they let me leave when I needed to leave. When people were calling me for sessions, I could just shake. You know, it was a blessing, definitely a blessing. But it just got to a point where, you know, I had to choose. Do I want to really pursue this? Or do I want to work at Guitar Center for the rest of my black ass life? So, you know, I chose Guitar Center, man. It's good memories. Laced up, iced out, sky high in a two-door I-5 highway, fly by, bumping my way, feeling like it's payday, Friday, every day, heavenly, can't hear what you telling me. I've come so far, changed up, lost friends, made new ones, and lost them again. Where I am ain't it all where I've been, but I just keep driving till I find it. So close, but yet so far, man, where is forever? So close, but yet so far, so close, but yet so far, so close, but yet so far. Just leave it at that.